It's a lovely Monday. Welcome to Kwara State Television News, transmitting live from our studios television house in Akwata, Yakuba, Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. You can watch us on start time on channel 113 and on Free TV channel 502. You can also join us on our live stream at Kwara TV on Facebook. Follow, like, comment, and share. I am Hannah Adeniji Babalola, and I'm not alone tonight. From the language desk, we have Yaya. Hello, Yaya.
At Kwara TV, it's Facebook, Bani, YouTube, Sonami, Kulu, Jia, Yaya.
Lónìí ọjọ́ Ajé ọjọ́ kẹjọ oṣù kejìlá ọdún 2025 ní àǹkíwá kù àṣálẹ́ láti lè ṣe mú máwòrán ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara tó fi àpáta Yakuba ṣe ibùjókòó ìròyìn lámútọ̀yìnwá Mọ́dúpẹ́ọlá Abíóyè ní oníròyìn yìí ẹlẹ́rìíwá wò lórí StarTime 113 bákan náà lórí Free TV 502 àti bó ṣe lọ lórí Facebook at Kwara TV àti lórí YouTube náà at Kwara TV ẹ kú ìkàlẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sí èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì àti Núpẹ́nù àbọ̀. Hannah.
Thank you very much, Modupe. Our first story tonight has that Vice President Kashim Shettima was today in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, where he represented President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the swearing-in of President Alassane Ouattara for his fourth term in office. Shettima joined other African leaders and dignitaries across the globe at the inauguration ceremony held at the Presidential Palace in Abidjan. Ouattara was re-elected on October 25, 2025, securing another term to lead the West African nation, which maintains strong diplomatic relationship with Nigeria. Nigeria has maintained a long-standing commitment in supporting sister nations in West Africa and upholding the principles of constitutional governance. At the inauguration, Vice President Shettima again reaffirmed Nigeria's dedication to promoting democratic values, respecting the will of the people, and ensuring that constitutional process remains the foundation of leadership transition across the region. The two countries partner through ECOWAS and the Nigerian Union, the African Union, on issues ranging from security to trade and development, backed by Binational Commission and several agreements covering everything from fighting human trafficking to boosting agriculture and growing the digital economy. What's happening? The international Nigerians military is trying to approach the attempted coup in neighboring country Benin Republic. The development has generated reactions among Nigerians, with some seen as a bold step of democracy in defense of democracy, while others see it as a dangerous distraction from Nigeria's own problem of insurgency. Abdulatif Ahmed completes the story.
Attempted coup occurred in the early hours of Sunday, December 7, 2025, when a group of Beninese soldiers, led by Lieutenant Colonel Pascal Tigri, stormed the state-owned television station in Cotonou and declared President Patrice Talon's government dissolved. The plotters sealed prominent sites of the capital, including a military camp, in what they called refoundation of the nation, with the help of loyalist forces and the intervention of Nigerian Air Force fighter jets to seize Benin's airspace. The mutineers were said to be neutralized and arrested. ECOWAS also dispatched standby forces, including Ghanaian, Ivorian, and Sierra Leone soldiers, to lock down the victory and safeguard Benin's borders. Reacting to these developments, some respondents who spoke to Kwara TV News in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, commended the move of the Nigerian government, describing it as a right move by helping a neighboring country. They said the gesture of the Nigerian government will send a strong message to other African countries who plan to overthrow a democratically elected government.
The intervention in Benin Republic is very, very necessary and is a welcome development. Nigeria, by default, is the head of ECOWAS for the fact that we account for more than 25% of African population.
Nigeria as a whole, we have a role to play as a leader of Africa in terms of security, in terms of economic aspect, in terms of social development, in terms of every aspect of human endeavors. Nigeria have a specific role to play, whether we like it or not. It's a must for us then.
Respondents say Nigeria is distracted from its own internal problem of insurgency. Others express that insurgency in Nigeria has nothing to do with helping neighboring countries in time of distress.
So if we are not able to resolve our own domestic issues, what is the justification for us now getting out of our shores to go and resolve issues elsewhere?
We believe in one Nigeria there. If we can be able to solve this internal problem there, I think we are going to go a long way in our country then.
If we can proactively react to a coup in our neighboring country, why can't we defend ourselves against these bandits and terrorism?
Abdulatif Ahmed, Kwara TV News.
The federal government on Monday unveiled a 50 million naira student venture capital grant, HES VCG, to promote innovations, research, excellence, and entrepreneurship across Nigeria's tertiary institutions. The Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, stated this while speaking at the official launch of the program in Abuja. He said the initiative represents a strategic national investment in youth innovators and aligned directly with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda for education. Alausa described the SVGC as far more than a grant scheme, noting that it was designed to identify high-potential ideas from campuses and nurture a culture of creativity and enterprise among students. He explained that beneficiaries will receive up to 50 million naira in equity-free seed funding, alongside intensive incubation, expert mentorship, and access to network and critical startup building tools. He added that the initiative was jointly implemented by the Federal Ministry of Education and TED Fund in collaboration with the Bank of Industry, Afara Initiative, AfriLab, the Entrepreneurship and the Skill Development Center, and Google. The program is open to full-time students in the federal, state, and private tertiary institutions from year 3 and above, with younger students allowed as team members. The application portal was opened on November 17 and will close on January 23, 2026, with the evaluation process beginning immediately afterwards. The Federal High Court in Abuja on Monday declined to grant the ex parte motion filed by the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, seeking to be transferred from the Sokoto Correctional Center to another custodial facility closer to the Federal Capital Territory. Justice James Maltosho refused the request, stating that Kanu's application, moved by Legal Aid Council of Nigerian lawyer Demdu Hassan, could not be granted by way of an ex parte motion. Recall that Kanu was convicted of terrorism-related offenses on November 20th and subsequently sentenced to life imprisonment, a verdict his family has rejected and vowed to appeal. He, however, filed a motion before the trial court requesting that he should be transferred from the Sokoto facility to any other custodial center close to Abuja, suggesting Suleja in Niger State or Kefi Custodial Center in Nasarawa State. Earlier on December 4, Justice Omotosho has fixed Monday for the hearing of the ex parte motion after declining to give audience to Kanu's younger brother, Prince Emmanuel, who had announced an appearance for the IPOB leader despite not being a legal practitioner. The Federal Capital Territory FCT Minister Iyesom Wike has reiterated that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will continue to support the judiciary to enhance productivity, reduce delay, and uphold the independence and integrity of the judiciary. The minister revealed that budgetary provision has been made to construct additional residential houses for FCT High Court judges to mitigate house shortages and ensure all judicial officers were appropriately accommodated. Weekly discloses in his goodwill message that the special court session formally marking the commencement of the 2025 and 2026 legal year of the Court of Appeal in Abuja on Monday. Wike stated that under the President's decisive action, the Federal Capital Territory Administration (FCTA) has formally handed over the certificate of occupancy for the Supreme Court's land and commenced the full perimeter fencing of the entire complex to safeguard the nation's apex court against encroachment and security breaches. He highlighted various interventions and support of the President for the judiciary through the FCTA to include the ongoing construction of secured and befitting residential quarters for heads of court within the FCT and the ongoing construction of a new magistrate court complex in Jabi district to expand access to justice for FCT residents and reduce the burden of existing court infrastructure. Others are construction of staff quarters for the Nigerian Law School in the FCT and the design and construction of the Court of Appeal Abuja Division Complex, as well as residencies of the Justice of the National Industrial High Court Abuja Division and Federal High Court Abuja Division. Gender-based violence, GBV, has continued to raise concern among various stakeholders who describe the menace as a burning issue. Some respondents who spoke with Kwara TV News in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, shared their opinion. Esther Amadu has a report.
Gender-based violence continues to be a significant issue in Nigeria, with recent statistics indicating that it predominantly affects women, girls, and men who are also victims of various forms of abuse. The federal government indicates that over 10,326 gender-based abuse cases has been reported nationwide between January and September 2025, with an estimated 2,444 survivors receiving care in recovering centers. Some respondents, while speaking with Kwara TV News in Ilori, Kwara State capital, described gender-based violence as an act that involves violence against either of the genders, attributing it to societal norms.
Gender-based violence is more or less an act that involves violence against either of the genders, either by individuals or by group of people.
Most of our wives, both wives and the husbands, are not to really have a kind of good backgrounds in terms of religion. No, after getting married, it causes a lot of things because religion has a lot of things to do in marital issues.
Because most of the young marriage people now, they don't have knowledge, all the morals that we have when we were young, how to take care of husband, how to be, you have to tolerate each other. Because we don't come from the same house. So by this we have to take it easy with ourselves. We have to try to forgive and forget. But now there's no forgive and forget in marriage. It's tit for tat. You do me, I do you.
They emphasized on the severe effect of gender-based violence on individuals, such as trauma, agony, and reduced productivity. They stressed on importance of love, mutual respect, and forgiveness in marriages, highlighting it as some of the major causes of breakdown in relationships. They called for a multifaceted approach to address gender-based violence involving individuals, communities, and relevant agencies. Esther Amadu, Kwara TV News.
From that story on gender-based violence, we'll take our first break tonight. News at 8 continues shortly. Stay with us.
Everyone, no pull your ears, make we talk. Shout my tea fresh now, but you know, I beg no be slow. Ever heard of Colgate, the #1 oral care brand in the world? For zero cavities and long-lasting fresh breath. Mom, you get time to brush. Mama and Papa buy up, use up and shine your smile. No more cover mouth.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News at 8 on Kwara State Television, transmitted live from our studios in Akpata, Yakuba. Our next story is from Rivers State. As the Rivers State Governor, Sir Siminalayi Fubara, has unveiled no fewer than 10 projects to be commissioned and flag off in 7 local government areas that cut across the senatorial district of the state. The project commissioned and flag off, which will commence on Wednesday, December 10, 2025, and then on Tuesday, December 25, 2025, comes 2 months after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu lifted emergency rule in the state and restored democratic institutions. The Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Benny Buanabraba, made this known during a joint media meeting in Port Harcourt on Monday. He said the new batch of projects signify part of the Fubara-led administration's commitment to fulfilling its social contract with the people of the state. Anabraba stated that additional projects have been scheduled for unveiling after the Christmas festivities. He emphasized the administration's determination to protect the people and provide critical infrastructure, noting that despite political challenges that briefly disrupted governance, the government has fully resumed its developmental agenda. He added that Fubara administration is back to work and ready to commission the completed project and inaugurate new ones across the state. Reaffirming the commitment of the governor to delivering the full dividend of democracy to Rivers residents, the SCG commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his role in ensuring the continuity of government initiative. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Niger State Chapter, said it has not received any official confirmation regarding the reports that hundreds of the students abducted from St. Mary's Private Catholic Primary and Secondary School in Papiri have been released. In a statement issued on Monday by the state chairman of CAN, Bishop Bulus Johanna, said the association and affected communities have not been formally notified of any release. It will be recalled that the abduction occurred on November 21st, 2025, when bandits attacked the school and kidnapped 315 people, including 303 students and 12 teachers. However, about 50 pupils escaped within the first 24 hours and were reunited with their family. Meanwhile, the National Secretary Advisor Nuri Bado last week visited the school and assured parents that the remaining abductees were safe and will be returned back to their various homes. Drug abuse has remained a major social concern affecting young people across Nigeria, with experts warning that its long-term effects continue to tear into families, communities, and the nations at large. Some Nigerians who spoke to Kwara TV News says the menace is fueled by several avoidable factors and must be urgently addressed. Melody Edefa filed in this report.
Drug abuse, whether through the misuse of prescription drugs or the intake of hard substance, continues to endanger lives across communities in Nigeria. Experts warn that long dependence on drugs often lead to mental instability, violent behavior, and rising crime rates. In an interview with respondents on the effects and causes of drug abuse, Kamaldeen Abdubakar believes the problem is largely driven by peer influence and negative social cycles. He believes sensitization campaigns from agencies like the National Orientation Agency will help educate young people on the danger of drugs and encourage addicts to seek external help.
Addicted to it, it is something that is very difficult to control. One should just go to the appropriate channel where he will receive a proper advice on how to curb it.
Paul Ajisafe highlights poverty, easy access to drug, and lack of education as major drives of substance abuse. He called on government to create more opportunities for young people while advising youth to stay informed, get educated, and follow medical prescriptions before taking any drugs.
Easy access to drugs causes drug abuse, and lack of education causes drug abuse. So our government has to improve, like create job opportunity for the youth, most of the people, because people are dying from drug abuse cause of poverty.
Olutayo Oluleye emphasized the role of parents, urging them to educate their children early on the dangers of drug abuse, noting that proper home training goes a long way in prevention.
It's not going to be doing it. I'm telling you, turn to another person, another thing. Well, it's not, it should be.
As drug-related cases continue to rise, Nigerians are calling on stronger awareness, improved access to rehabilitation, and tight control on the circulation of harmful substances. Melody Edefa, Kwara TV News.
The Osun State chapter of the All Progressive Congress, APC, has reminded Governor Ademola Adeleke of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, that a tenure determination suit involving restated local government chairmen and councillors remained pending before the Federal High Court. This was contained in a statement by the party state chairman, Tajuddin Lawal, on Monday. The APC alleged that the state government and the PDP has attempted to misinform the members of the public following recent legal development regarding local government administration in the state. The party said the state government began releasing all manners of lies after the loss suffered by the PDP-led administration over reinstatement of APC council officials, noting that the matter may come up in court in November and was adjourned until February 2026. It added that the PDP-led government had been misleading the public by describing an exercise held on 22nd February 2025 as local government elections, claiming that residents had begun to recognize the difference between an election and an illegal declaration. The party urged security agencies and the public to remain vigilant, warning of potential breaches of peace linked to alleged threats by the state government and some PDP members to resort to force. The APC, while appealing to parents and guardians to caution their children against involvement in political violence, urged its members and supporters to remain peaceful as the legal issues surrounding local government council continue to unfold. Ogun State government has warned residents against the indiscriminate dumping of refuse in drainages, streets, and other unapproved locations, declaring that violators risk 2 million naira fine or possible imprisonment. The warning was issued by the special advisor to the governor of waste management, Abayomi Hunye, on Monday. He expressed concern over what he described as a growing culture of environmental abuse, particularly in markets across the state. Hunye explained that the government has in recent weeks people in market dump waste indiscriminately, polluting the environment and creating a climate of filth. A development is said poses serious risk to public health and safety. He reminded residents of the provision of the Ogun State Waste Management Authority Law 2020, which criminalizes improper waste disposal, warned that any person who contravenes any of the provision of the law commits an offense and on arrest shall pay a penalty of 25,000 naira to the authority. He stressed that despite the availability of designated waste bin and disposal points in all approved markets, many traders and residents still engage in illegal dumping. The government, however, urged residents to cooperate with environmental officials and comply with waste disposal regulation in order to promote a cleaner and healthier Ogun State. Our next story is from Adamawa. Says the state government has imposed a 24-hour curfew on Lamode local government area following a communal clash felt to have caused much damage. The government said on Monday that the curfew followed a renewed communal clash which resurfaced Sunday evening in the area, but offered no details as to human or material losses. In a statement signed by the State Police Public Relations Officer Suleiman Nguroje, stated that the command, in collaboration with sister security agencies, while respecting the right of the citizen, equally enjoined them to avoid all forms of actions capable of threatening the security of the area. Similarly, the State Command of the Nigerian Police said it has deployed personnel following the declaration of the 24-hour curfew by the state government over the violent attacks and breach of peace within some communities in Lamode local government area of Adamawa State. The police also gave no details regarding the communal clash, but some residents of the area have volunteered that two ethnic groups in the Lamode local government rose against each other in the first round of violence that the particular group have become known for. Reports indicate that the number of communities were affected, with the exception of the Lamode town itself, which was protected by local youth when people from one of the warring group attempted to launch attack. And from that story from Adamawa, we take our second break. News at 8. Continue shortly. Stay with us.
Beautiful is your name. Wonderful is what you are to me. Eba mi kira fún mama mi. Orisha mi ya o, kò sí láé, bóyá.
Every mom, a treasure beyond measure. 3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, it's still News at 8 on Kwara State Television. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has said that his administration will continue to restructure the transportation sector in the state with a view to leaving a sustainable legacy in this sector. Governor Makinde disclosed this with the completion of Terminal 1 and 2 of the Ibadan Central Bus Station, Iwo Road. His government has brought about a massive turnaround in the transportation sector with a well-organized system and a solid management. He reaffirmed that his administration would not stop at that, as it plans to sponsor the leadership of the park management system and motorcycle riders, where they will gain further insight on how to better manage the transport system and make life more comfortable for residents of the state through their services. The governor made this known during the opening of a leisure park named after former governor Victor Omololu Oluloyo at Airport Road in Ibadan. Eulogizing the late former governor, Makinde emphasized that his government remained committed to his promise of digitizing Oluloyo's library so it can serve as a resource base for members of the public as well as a tourist attraction center. For sport news, the Nigerian Football Federation, the NFF, on Monday announced a new date for the pre-2025 African Cup of Nations friendly between the Super Eagles and Pharaohs of Egypt. According to the NFF, the friendly match was earlier scheduled to hold on Sunday, 14 December, has now been shifted to Tuesday, 16 December. The NFF declared that the FIFA decision that club can hold on to their players until Monday, 15 December, before they are released for AFCON 2025 in Morocco, necessitated the postponement. Aside from the postponement, the game will now be a practice match in order to allow the two teams to make use of more than 5 substitutes in the encounter. The game slated for the Cairo International Stadium will kick off at 8 p.m. Egypt time and 7 p.m. Nigerian time. The Super Eagles are drawn in Group C of the AFCON 2025 finals along 2004 champion Tunisia, 1978 runner-up Uganda and Tanzania. Nigeria's first match is on Tuesday, 23rd December 2025 against Tanzania's Taifa Stars at the Complex Fortified Defense, where they will also tackle Tunisia's Carthage Eagle on Saturday, 27 December, and the Cranes of Uganda on Tuesday, 30th of December. For some African news, President Alassane Ouattara was on Monday sworn in for a 4th term as leader of the Ivory Coast after election in which his 2 main opponents were excluded from the ballot. The 83-year-old was elected with nearly 90% of the vote in October 25th election. The president, who has led the Ivory Coast since a violently disrupted the election in 2010, vowed to loyally defend the constitution during his inauguration. Leaders from 11 African countries attended the ceremony at the presidential palace in the economic capital in Abidjan. From Sudan, the parliamentary group claimed on Monday that it had taken control of the strategically important oil field of the border with South Sudan. It's yet another consequence of the civil war in Sudan. The paramilitary Rapid Support Force claimed that it had taken control of the Hilfig oil field in South Province on Monday. In a press agency report, the oil workers and security forces at the oil field fled into neighboring South Sudan during the attack. The oil field is of strategic importance for Sudan as it is in one of the 2 key oil production area of the country. The second oil field Block 6 was operated by Chinese since the 1990s, but has also come under control of the RSF during the Civil War. In addition to its importance for Khartoum, Hugli represents a significant part of state revenue for South Sudan, as it houses the main oil processing facility for South Sudan. Fighting in the ongoing civil war between the Sudanese armed forces and the RSF shifted to the Kordofan region in recent months, where the Sudanese armed forces have experienced setback in combating the RSF. This is despite the RSF being largely on the defensive since losing control of Khartoum in spring of 2025. That wraps up from the English segment. Over to Yaya.
There is Voya Abidjan King Côte d'Ivoire Canada qui est cosmétique Bola Ame Tinubu Bashiri et tout ya tisi Alazon
na ajimuliki ya kimci ya zuni chino shatima ye kabe tishiya kempaje ko to za chonje ijo pata ya ekishiri eto na beje do katamba ko na chi Abidjan aye kulia che ya Kwara foshi be gutu na etwagu ya batu eshi be gutu na lo aje tishi ya yemopa eyi lozun kin paji konje na made yemopa ne niji be kin Nigeria to ye be
mopa ti be zuto ya yiji doji èyí ló sùn yẹn kí n pàṣípò ní máa jígun àwọn tí wọ́n múlí kí èyí tó bẹ dòjì ní ibà ẹ̀kan yìí ṣírí ètò ọjọ́ ṣẹ́bà tíṣì ṣètìmọ̀ dé kẹkùngbà ẹgbọ̀n kí Nàìjíríà dé àfihàn tí yẹ gbúrú lọ tó tí wọ́n dé láyà múlí kí ètò bòdè yìí tí wọ́n láyà zàwáńgì ètò náà wọ́n lé kí n yàgò lé lutube gami yuji eti kabujo no kengu babanchi ina pama dagwata emigun ECOWAS be emopa kim pajiko eti alamori eti ezo nejide fe du bafi shiri etwa to yeburu lo gochi to yeburu lo ndochi emopa kengu baba deke pama eti yejuru de jidan Zawangi de kuda katashi eti burulu de waya elunu to wuce zaman kokiri ya gbaja kawji de kin Nigeria ye abuna de jigwa kane eti shiri kaboju chungu ndochi na wa abeje kin Benin na mala Zawangi kin Nigeria gbani de la gangani na dokwan jigan bishikpe mchi de ye gwakan ya mulki ichobe do jinama zandochi de juye ke oye zonchiko de ya kin Nigeria Benin wada ezo nya shiri icho de ne a chidan talubani na Abdulatif Ahmed na ko labari na yakan de lawa ke latula ke shiri kagbo chugu ndochi dewa abeji laje fuyin na efo ala defo na ye fogu toba nimi etwagu obegube nimi ya de na ifidana dagwata imigun gbajaka ndochi na Lieutenant Colonel Pascal Tigri de shituna na jide gasa miuza gindochi na cikin kotono bana aji lato kede a mulki yan tishi Patrice Talon de bomina emegun unchi de kan ekoji na ji todoba nya gbaja kanje eti shiri na yigan egbajiguru de yakina be temako ya gbaja kanje efe tekin Nigeria de la kimbine de fo be shiri kagbo chungo unchi na ma shiri ajite pata jibaza amake won zando chi na jide de gwada shiri unchi no emigun ECOWAS gbani de ashiri etwa de jinane daga kin Ghana Ivory Coast to Sierra Leone na aji etwa de ya kin Guji Eko na jide lo kin Benin na afe baza heti bichikpo nchana dokun zawanjije kin Nigeria na ji baza be labari kuchije ilori abo na yi edota kin Kwara nan dugwaga ma heti bichikpo nchana gwamnati kin Nigeria de bebe na ajiye ke bichikpo nchi de akpedan lokaci ke ungoyin na adan taimako kin yegi dojonan adan wuce unci na gwamnati kin Nigeria da bebe na wayi tukwadi ya kin faji kundundu na daga dan shiri dojun cewa a tukabo mulki tobe doji da gona na ma zawangi indoci oto da bazake bikikionci unjiya na shekwankun be lokaci be ezo na kin abuna da datalu gbani na zandoci oto da ke bazake shiri etwa na aci da kin Najeriya na unji online don dobe ke kin Najeriya gada taimako ya yegi dojo lokaci na da ezojo nan shiri alibo sapa naji ebeje ya baje to in zagina ina de elwe na mela gatab de biani ta cin jeji e gato na juye ke alibo na je popoyano dokun jeji balabe labari kuci lura bona yi edota ken kwana la nufi nyaji tula Esther Hamadu na ko labari na yi kana latula ke alibo sapa na aji ebeje eti ezabage to nzagi na yi ezo nchiko de kin Nigeria yi abuna na lissafi na lutula ke alamori unchi de aji ebeje ya naji yanchugi to eza bagiji lissafi lutula daga heba gwamnati fito ke eza najidelu gbatu be kwakwe tu shitun be gbawodin gunina ati agata de alamori unchi de be ejeya ta tiyan etu amafariye etu agutani ni agbatu eshi begutun nama eza najidelu gba be kobe tu shiba be gunina ati agata de gangwa alamori unchi najima akulo asibiti ba naji adayeno dokun jeji balabe labari kuci na yetun babo ilori abo na yedo ta kin kwana ji alibonci ne beje eti bagi be nzage na ke na dekun gbogbo popo na ma ajuye ba kendo de ije de epelo gba ni na aga dokun alamari unci na ebeje ya zabangiji ya ji wala etan to ipa naji goyana debe na maji eke shiri egima abaza eti pataki eti chinwala adu to gafara tachiya ebabe imekene na danimi enajide akagwa alibo sapa dojin na najira ci gbapako jin amfani bayan ta jiya nan ta da wuyi ezo nchiko na ji ebeje ta ciya barufu da kin Nigeria yi abuna na ma kipedeci de nan kede alibuna na de dumbo jifani na ma ela gigabe ta ciya yalije eje to kinyo to de gangari na dokun zawanjije kin Nigeria na ji balabe labari kuci na de ji alamari unciya ke wa eyida na jide goyina be gwatwe melody adafa na ko labari na yakana de latula ke cigbe paku da ji amfani be daga nini cigbe na eza alamitu kendo likita de kawana to àǹfààní jíbe chibe kwaku ina elu na mela banna debe ya rayizi de kinji kin Nigeria yi abuna tupedeci na ji bazati alamarin jona de latula ke de alamarin na de dabo jifani na mela lafiya nya eti de chida ela ezojibin ejo to na mela shiri gawada de lui ejo na onfeje uje uba gabe eti na je go faruwa cibe kwatku je amfani bayina kamar din abubakar gan de ya peke ezo na naji ina ebeje eti eyaku na da ekoba na to kendo de ije de epelo gbani na gan de ya pya kede ya beke shiri tukwape de ga dabo daga eka ne je tukwape de kin abuna kede na ke ezo nana tachiya gbaru fuje eti amfani jibe cibe kwaku nama a kewa taimako daga kin dimbunu ruba paul aji safe na ntofe balana latula ke tulunci to cibe unci dede bi egwatwe to shiri tukwape na kwana da nimi yana de eji zumatu ya cibe kwaku ji amfani bayina ncewa bai gwala kwata ya gwamnati na dai a bebe kafa na shi dai ginin ya gbaru fuji dai kin abotu na a dan shiri tukwape na shi goyin na a fiya tukwa to wuwa gwaji eti banna dai na paba cibe kwako ji amfani na luba olutayo olule ntoji bayani ke kokerije nya nyamanci unye badan zumaba ngwa bayan na adigi tukwa pia tukwa to na awagwaje eti banna na paba tibe kwaku deji amfani bayin to na awagwaje eti shirije na ji aga kagwa aji amfani be tibe kwaku unci yana bena amfani jibe cibe kwako de elo kin Nigeria na zawangiji kin Nigeria de wani shiri tukpape to shirin doci na ji a jin egwa kan heti cibe kwako de ji amfani beyin kin abunan gwamnatin yayo shayi makinde haga ne kede mulki wunde a feje kokirilo heti ebonje wange ya gwala nyen pazda nyen kin unchi na a la etan chichi de gwala unchi no gwamna shayi makinde de la tula kede la na tula na agun matu daba gwala nini to gwala bachi na tuchi Ibadan tachi kiremiya Iwo na cikin Ibadan nga mulkin de a feluye eti ebaje wange ya gwala nyakpa zada nama wakan baga bana uyegwa kunya gbake mulkin de ajin zuma kokon be shiri na ji udayina nama da shiro a jin zumatu ya emigutishi nya mato na ba uchi to jeji epa etu machine egba gutana lo ken Rwanda bana ada yetupi eti kendo alaida nyampa zada to kendo a lotu na la yingbofa debe a sawangiji de ken unchunu gumna makinde fila na natula na onfepe mato da baunchi na onla iti gumna nyepa Victor Omololu Olorun loyo eko nya fili eyafe na ci alakia Ibadan un bazalo kede kuci na gwamna ya pounds na makinde jin bayanin ke gwamnatin ne a fejin kokirilo yeti alikawalin jin a je kata takadagba ya olon loyo ya je ya zaman bana mile labarin lo zo ne kanan ke na bada da ba dupe na gba ibe mi sun ejina
to kubeti yaya ìròyìn náà rèé ní èdè ti Yorùbá ẹ kú ìkàlẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí igbákejì ààrẹ ilẹ̀ wa Kashim Shettima ni ó gúnlẹ̀ sí Abidjan lórílẹ̀‐èdè Côte d'Ivoire níbi tí ó ti lọ sójú ààrẹ Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu níbi ètò ìbúrawọlé ààrẹ Alassane Ouattara fún sáà kẹrin ìṣèjọba rẹ̀. Shettima ló darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn adarí ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ mìíràn àtàwọn èèkàn lágbàáyé níbi ètò àfilọ́lẹ̀ náà lọ́jọ́ tòní èyí tó wáyé ní ilé ààrẹ nílùú Abidjan. Ouattara tó jáwé olúborí àtúndìbòyàn lọ́jọ́ 25 oṣù kẹwàá ọdún 2025 níbi tó ti ní àǹfààní sáà mìíràn láti tukọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè náà èyí tó ní ìbáṣepọ̀ tó gúnrégé pẹ̀lú ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Níbi àfilọ́lẹ̀ náà ni igbákejì ààrẹ Shettima ti tẹnumọ́ ìfarajìn ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà sídìí àgbéga àmúyẹ àwarawa, ìbọ̀wọ̀ fún ìfẹ́ ọkàn àwọn ènìyàn àti ìsàrídájú wípé ìlànà òfin ló sì jẹ́ ọ̀pákùtẹ̀lẹ̀ ìṣèjọba jákèjádò ẹkùn náà. Ìdásí àwọn ọmọ ogun ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ni wọ́n ló dènà èròǹgbà ìdìtẹ̀gbàjọba nílẹ̀ olómìnira Benin èyí tí ó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní rí àríwísí láti ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà nígbà tí àwọn kan rí ìgbésẹ̀ náà bí ìgbésẹ̀ akíkanjú láti dáàbò bo ìjọba mẹ̀kúnnù. Ṣé ni àwọn mìíràn ṣe àpèjúwe rẹ̀ bí ìdílọ́wọ́ tó léwu lọ́wọ́ ìṣòro ìgbésùnmọ̀mí ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Abdulateef Ahmed jábọ̀ wípé èròǹgbà ìdìtẹ̀gbàjọba ló wáyé lówùúrọ̀ ọjọ́ Sunday tí ṣe ọjọ́ kejì oṣù kejìlá ọdún 2025 nígbà tí ọwọ́ kan àwọn ọmọ ogun ilẹ̀ Benin èyí tí Lieutenant Colonel Pascal Tigri kó sọ̀dí ya wọ iléeṣẹ́ móhùnmáwòrán tó jẹ́ ti ìjọba ní Cotonou tí wọ́n sì kéde àtúkà ìṣèjọba ààrẹ Patrice Talon. Ìdásí àwọn ọmọ ogun ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ló ṣèrànwọ́ láti borí èròǹgbà náà tí àwọn agbátẹrù ìgbésẹ̀ náà sì jẹ́ nínáwó gan. Nígbà tí wọ́n fèsì lórí ìdásí yìí, àwọn tó bá ikọ̀ ìròyìn wa ní gbólóhùn kan sára sí ìgbésẹ̀ ìjọba ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà léyìí tí wọ́n ṣe àpèjúwe rẹ̀ bí ìgbésẹ̀ tó dára nípa ṣíṣe ìrànwọ́ fún orílẹ̀-èdè tí ó súnmọ́ ni. Àwọn mìíràn gbà wípé ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ti ṣíjú kúrò nínú ìṣòro tirẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n tí àwọn kan gbàgbọ́ wípé ìṣòro ìgbésùnmọ̀mí kò ní kí orílẹ̀-èdè má ṣèrànwọ́ fún orílẹ̀-èdè akẹgbẹ́ rẹ̀ lásìkò ìṣòro. Ǹjẹ́ ìjọba àpapọ̀ lọ́jọ́ tòní ti ṣe àfihàn 50 million naira student venture capital grant láti mú àgbéga bá ìwòye ọgbọ́n àtinúdá, ìpegedé ìwádìí àti iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ jákèjádò àwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga ní ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Mínísítà fọ́rọ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ Túnjí Aláùsá ló fọ̀rọ̀ yìí léde nígbà tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ níbi àfilọ́lẹ̀ rẹ̀ nílùú Àbújá léyìí tó ní ètò náà ṣe àfihàn ìdókòwò sídìí ọgbọ́n àtinúdá àwọn ọ̀dọ́ tó sì lọ ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú ìlànà ìrètí ọ̀tun ààrẹ Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu fún ètò ẹ̀kọ́. Ó ṣe àfikún rẹ̀ wípé ìwòye náà ló jẹ́ àjùmọ̀ṣe àfilọ́lẹ̀ láti ọwọ́ iléeṣẹ́ ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó ń rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ àti àjọ TETFund pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ Bank of Industry àti àwọn mìíràn. Ìdojú àkọlù sí takọtabo ló ti tẹ̀síwájú láti máa rí àríwísí láti ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn alẹ́nulọ́rọ̀ gbogbo tó yẹ tí wọ́n ti ṣe àpèjúwe ọ̀rọ̀ náà bí èyí tí ó ṣe kókó tó ṣe pàtàkì báyìí. Àwọn tó bá ikọ̀ ròyìn wa Esther Amadu ní gbólóhùn lórí rẹ̀ nílùú Ìlọrin tí ṣe olúìlú ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara sọ ìwòye tiwọn náà lórí ohun tí a mọ̀ sí GBV. Àkọlù sí tọkùnrin tóbìnrin ló tẹ̀síwájú láti máa jẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tó ṣe kókó nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú bí àgbékalẹ̀ òǹkà ṣe ṣe àfihàn rẹ̀ wípé àwọn abilékọ àtàwọn obìnrin ni ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀hún kàn jùlọ táwọn ọkùnrin náà sì ń dojúkọ àkọlù kan sí òmíràn. Ìjọba àpapọ̀ ṣe àfihàn wípé kò dín ní ẹgbẹ̀rún 326 GBV ló ti wà ní àkọsílẹ̀ láàrin oṣù kínní sí oṣù kẹsàn-án ọdún 2025 pẹ̀lú òǹkà 2,424 olùmóríbọ́ èyí tó ń gba ìtọ́jú lọ́wọ́. Àwọn tó bá ikọ̀ ròyìn wa sọ̀rọ̀ nílùú Ìlọrin ṣe àpèjúwe GBV bí èyí tó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú àkọlù sí ọkùnrin àti obìnrin tí wọ́n sì forí rẹ̀ sọ àṣà àwùjọ. ẹgbẹ́ ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà CAN ẹ̀ka ti ìpínlẹ̀ Niger sọ wípé òun kò tí tẹ́wọ́ gba ìjànlóǹtẹ̀ ìròyìn ìtúsílẹ̀ àwọn 100 kan akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tí wọ́n jí gbé ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ alákọ̀ọ́bẹ̀rẹ̀ àti ti girama St Mary's Private Catholic èyí tó wà ní Papiri. Nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan lọ́jọ́ tòní látọwọ́ alága ẹgbẹ́ CAN Bishop Bulus Yohana sọ wípé ẹgbẹ́ náà àtàwọn agbègbè tọ́rọ̀ kàn kò tí rí àkíyèsí ìtúsílẹ̀ kankan. Àárọ̀ ti wípé lọ́jọ́ 21 oṣù kọkànlá ọdún 2025 ni ìjínigbé náà wáyé níbi tí àwọn ikọ̀ bandit ti ṣe àkọlù sí ilé ẹ̀kọ́ náà tí wọ́n sì jí 325 ènìyàn gbé tó fi mọ́ akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ 43 àti olùkọ́ 12 ẹ̀wẹ̀. Bí 50 àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ló padà mórí bọ́ ní wákàtí 24 àkọ́kọ́ ìjínigbé náà tí wọ́n sì ti darapọ̀ mọ́ mọ̀lẹ́bí wọn àmọ́ ṣá olùbádámọ̀ràn ààbò àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa ìyẹn Nuru Ribadu ló ṣe àbẹ̀wò sí ilé ẹ̀kọ́ náà lọ́sẹ̀ tí ó kọjá níbi tí ó ti fọwọ́ sọ̀yà fún àwọn òbí wípé àwọn ọmọ tó kù yóò rí ìdóòlà ní àìpẹ́. Àṣìlò oògùn ló sì jẹ́ ohun kan gbòógì tó ń ṣe àwọn ọ̀dọ́ jákèjádò ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú àwọn abẹ́náìmọ̀ tí wọ́n jáwé ìkìlọ̀ wípé àtúbọ̀tán rẹ̀ ló ń farahàn nínú mọ̀lẹ́bí ìlú àti orílẹ̀-èdè ní àpapọ̀. Àwọn ọmọ ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà tó bá ikọ̀ ròyìn Kwara TV ní gbólóhùn sọ wípé àwọn ohun tí a lè yàgò fún ló ń dènà ya ìṣesí yìí tó sì nílò àbójútó lẹ́yìn òsọ́ka. Melody Ẹ̀dẹ́fà jábọ̀ wípé àṣìlò oògùn bóyá oògùn òyìnbó ni tàbí gbígbé egbòogi olóró ló sì tẹ̀síwájú láti máa ṣe àkóbá fún ọ̀pọ̀ ẹ̀mí jákèjádò agbègbè nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Àwọn onímọ̀ ti wá jáwé ìkìlọ̀ wípé gbígbẹ́kẹ̀lé egbòogi ọlọ́jọ́ pípẹ́ a máa yọrí sí àrùn ọpọlọ, híhu ìwà kò tọ́ láwùjọ àti mímú àlékún bá ìpeléke ìwà ọ̀daràn. Nínú ìfọ̀rọ̀wánilẹ́nuwò kan lórí àtúbọ̀tán àti okùnfà àṣìlò oògùn ní Kamadi Abubakar ti fi ìgbàgbọ́ hàn wípé ẹgbẹ́kẹ́gbẹ́ àti àwùjọ tí kò dára ló ń fa ìhùwàsí yìí. Ó sọ wípé ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ láti ọwọ́ olùlanilọ́yẹ̀ àpapọ̀ ni yóò ṣèrànwọ́ láti la àwọn tọ́rọ̀ kàn lọ́yẹ̀ pàápàá jùlọ àwọn ọ̀dọ́ lórí ewu tí ó rọ̀ mọ́ oògùn. Paul Ajíṣafẹ́ ní tirẹ̀ tọ́ka sí ìṣẹ́ àti òṣì níní àǹfààní sí oògùn lílò àti àìní ìmọ̀ ìwé gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀pákùtẹ̀lé èrèdí gbígbé egbògi olóró. Ó ké sí ìjọba kó pèsè àlékún àǹfààní iṣẹ́ fún àwọn ọ̀dọ́ tó sì rọ àwọn ọ̀dọ́ kí wọ́n ní ìmọ̀ ìwé. Bákan náà kí wọ́n tẹ̀lé àlàálẹ̀ dókítà ṣáájú kí wọ́n tó lo oògùn kankan. Olútáyọ̀ Olúlẹ́yẹ tẹnumọ́ ojúṣe àwọn òbí léyìí tó ní kí wọ́n kọ́ àwọn ọmọ wọn dáadáa lówùúrọ̀ ọjọ́ ayé wọn lórí ewu tó rọ̀ mọ́ àṣìlò oògùn. Ní ìpínlẹ̀ ti Ọ̀ṣun, ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú All Progressives Congress ìyẹn APC nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ti pe gómìnà Adémọ́lá Adélékè àti ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú People's Democratic Party PDP sí ìránnilétí wípé ẹjọ́ sáà tó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn alága ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ àtàwọn kánsílọ̀ tí wọ́n dá padà ló sì wà ní iwájú ilé ẹjọ́ gíga ìjọba àpapọ̀. Àtẹ̀jáde kan gba ti ọwọ́ alága ẹgbẹ́ náà ní ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀hún Tajudeen Lawal lọ́jọ́ tòní ni ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC ti fẹ̀sùn kàn wípé ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ náà àti ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP ló ti gbìyànjú láti ṣì àwọn ènìyàn lọ́nà látẹ̀lé àgbékalẹ̀ òfin tó wáyé lórí ìṣèjọba ìbílẹ̀ nípínlẹ̀ ọ̀hún. Ẹgbẹ́ náà sọ wípé ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ náà ló ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣe àgbéjáde òfégè ìròyìn ẹlẹ́jẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ìṣèjọba ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP ti pàdánù lórí ìdápadà àwọn olóyè ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ fún APC lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n ní nínú oṣù kọkànlá ni ẹjọ́ náà wáyé ní ilé ẹjọ́ tí wọ́n sì sún ìgbẹ́jọ́ sínú oṣù kejì ọdún 2026. Ó fi kún wípé ìṣèjọba PDP ló ti ń ṣì àwọn ènìyàn lọ́nà nípa ṣíṣe àpèjúwe ètò tó wáyé lọ́jọ́ 22 oṣù kejì ọdún 2025 bí ètò ìdìbò ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ tó sì ní àwọn aráàlú ti mọ ìyàtọ̀ láàrin ìdìbò àti ìkéde ilé ẹjọ́. Ẹgbẹ́ náà wá rọ àwọn lájọ-lájọ ààbò láti wà lójú lalákànfin sọ́rí tó sì jáwé ìkìlọ̀ tako ìfọwọ́palẹ̀ òfin àti ìdomi àlàáfíà ìlú rú. Ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC nígbà tó ń rawọ́ ẹ̀bẹ̀ sí àwọn òbí àtàwọn alágbàtọ́ kí wọ́n jáwé akíwọ́wọ́ fún àwọn ọmọ wọn, rọ àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ àtàwọn alátìlẹyìn rẹ̀ láti wà ní àlàáfíà gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìgbésẹ̀ ilé ẹjọ́ ṣe ń tẹ̀síwájú. Láti ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ni mo ti bọ́ sí ìpínlẹ̀ ti Ògùn níbi tí ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀hún ti jáwé akíwọ́wọ́ fún àwọn olùgbé ìpínlẹ̀ náà tako dídà pàǹtí lọ́nà àìtọ́ sínú ojúsàn àgbàrá ojú pópó àtàwọn àyè mìíràn tí kò yẹ lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n ní ṣe ni àwọn arúfin fi sísan mílíọ̀nù 2 náírà owó ìtanràn rún mú tàbí kí wọ́n fi ẹ̀wọ̀n gbára. Ìkìlọ̀ náà ló wáyé láti ọwọ́ olùbádámọ̀ràn pàtàkì sí gómìnà lórí àbójútó pàǹtí ìyẹn Àbáyọ̀mí Uye lọ́jọ́ tòní tó sì fi ẹ̀dùn ọkàn hàn lórí ohun tó ṣe àpèjúwe bí àṣìlò àyíká ní pàtàkì jùlọ láwọn ọjà jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀hún. Ó ṣàlàyé wípé ìjọba láìpẹ́ yìí ti sọ wípé àwọn ènìyàn nínú ọjà ń da pàǹtí lọ́nà tí kò bójúmu tí wọ́n sì ń ba àyíká jẹ́. Ìgbésẹ̀ yìí ni wọ́n ló ń fa ewu ńlá lórí ìlera ìlú. Ó wá rán àwọn olùgbé ìpínlẹ̀ náà létí ìpèsè òfin ọdún 2020 lórí ọ̀rọ̀ pàǹtí dídànù, èyí tó ní èyíkéyìí arúfin tí ọwọ́ bá tẹ̀ yóò san owó ìtanràn ẹgbẹ̀rún 25 náírà. Ní ìpínlẹ̀ ti Ọ̀yọ́, gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ Ṣèyí Mákindé ti sọ wípé ìṣèjọba òun yóò tẹ̀síwájú láti máa ṣe àtúntò ẹ̀ka ìrìnnà ìpínlẹ̀ náà pẹ̀lú òye àti fi ipa rẹ̀ lélẹ̀ ní ẹ̀ka ọ̀hún. Gómìnà Mákindé sọ pé pẹ̀lú àṣeparí ibùdó kìíní àti èkejì Ìbàdàn Central Bus Station ní Ìwó Road, ìṣèjọba rẹ̀ ti ṣe àyípadà tó kẹnú lẹ́ka ìrìnnà pẹ̀lú ìlànà tó jíire àtàwọn alábòójútó èyí tí ó rẹ́sẹ̀ wálẹ̀. Ó ṣe àtẹnumọ́ wípé ìṣèjọba rẹ̀ kò ní dúró lórí ìyẹn nìkan gẹ́gẹ́ bó ṣe ń gbèrò láti ṣe agbátẹrù àwọn adarí park management system àtàwọn motorcycle riders lọ sí ilẹ̀ Rwanda níbi tí wọn yóò ti ní àlékún ìmọ̀ sí. Gómìnà fọ̀rọ̀ yìí léde lásìkò ìṣíde ibùdókọ̀ kan tí wọ́n forí rẹ̀ sọ gómìnà tẹ́lẹ̀ rí Victor Ọmọlólú Olúnlọ́yọ̀ lójú ọ̀nà pápákọ̀ òfurufú Alákíá nílùú Àbújá nílùú Ìbàdàn ẹnu mi àgò. Ǹjẹ́ ní ìparí, ààrẹ Alassane Ouattara lọ́jọ́ tòní ti gba ìbúra wọlé fún sáà kẹrin gẹ́gẹ́ bí adarí ilẹ̀ Ivory Coast lẹ́yìn ètò ìdìbò níbi tí wọ́n ti yọ àwọn alátakò rẹ̀ gbòógì méjì kúrò nínú ìwé ìdìbò. Ẹni ọdún 73 náà ló gba àtúndìbò yàn pẹ̀lú bí ìdá 90 ìbò níbi ètò ìdìbò ọjọ́ 25 oṣù kẹwàá ọdún 2025. Ààrẹ náà tó ti ń ṣe ìṣàkóso orílẹ̀-èdè náà látẹ̀lé ètò ìdìbò ọdún 2010 ló jẹ́jẹ́ láti ṣègbè lẹ́yìn àlàkalẹ̀ òfin lásìkò àfilọ́lẹ̀ rẹ̀. Àwọn adarí láti orílẹ̀-èdè 11 ní ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ ló péjú pésẹ̀ síbi ayẹyẹ náà tó wáyé ní ilé ààrẹ ní ìlú Abidjan. Pẹ̀lú ìròyìn ni a fi mú ìròyìn àwásẹ̀pẹ̀ fún ti àṣálẹ́ tòní. Hannah Abayomi.
Thank you very much, Pujuke Abioye. I want to thank you for joining us on tonight's edition. And to quickly remind you, we are on YouTube at Kwara TV and join us on our Facebook. On behalf of the production crew, Edebaba Batunde Jimba, I am Hannah Adeniji Babalola saying good night. Have a lovely night rest.